Yeah, everything's on it, so. Summer stage two, stage two, and I have one stage four. My cities were literally that.
So.
Congratulations, everything goes well, but. Now, it's nothing, I told you it's no use, now I'm at the same one, yeah. Yes, I want to be with her forever. Yeah.
That wasn't.
The thing is, congratulations, thank you, yeah. Huh?
I like that price over here. It's actually. So there is a quorum right now. As I count 7.
We have new people, I can't see.
6, so the best there now too.
Jessica just shared with me that on her way to our meeting, that one of her drivers got into a car accident, so she's dealing with a work crisis right now.
Oh, no.
Thank you. So Jessica, all right, since it's 2:01, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. Or even if you could start with roll call, please.
It's Member Macia,
Present.
Member Ramirez. Member Solis,
Present.
Member Grove,
Present.
Member McKillop. Member Fuller Kudos,
Present.
Member Garcia. Member Gambetta,
Right. She's on, but her camera is not on.
Member Gambetta. Serena needs to try. Serena, can you turn on your camera, please? Member Ruiz,
Present.
Member De La Cruz.
Present.
Member Hernandez.
Present.
Hi there, everybody. Sorry, I was disabled by host, unable to unmute or turn on my camera, but I think it works now.
And Member Gambetta.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. This time I'd like to remind everybody that all members can participate via teleconference using Zoom. Committee members are required to remain visible on camera during the open portion of publicly accessible meetings conducted online or through other platforms, except when a physical or mental condition necessitates off-camera participation. At this time, we'll move on to item 1-2, introduction of guests. I'll start with those on Zoom first, if there's any guests who would like to introduce themselves. Seeing none, are there any guests in person who would like to introduce themselves?
Hello, my name is Nina Arias. I'm with Central Coast Center for Independent Living.
Hi, I'm Rosie Ponce. I'm with the Aging on Alliance, Alliance on Aging, I'm sorry, and I'm the transportation coordinator.
Welcome. Moving on to item 2 for public comments on matters not on the agenda, starting with Zoom first. Seeing none, any individuals in person? All right, item 3, the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes from the last meeting dated May 27th, 2026. Those were emailed out. If there's a motion.
It's page 7.
Is there a second?
Second.
And then all in favor?
Hi.
Aye. We have to do individual, that's right, because we have individual. Ruben will go with a roll call vote for the approval or abstain or denial of the minutes.
Member Macias,
Approved?
member Ramirez. Members,
Approved.
member Grove,
Approved.
member McKillop. Member Fuller Kuda,
Approved.
member Garcia. Member Bandera,
Approve.
member Ruiz,
I approve.
member De La Cruz. Approved. And member Hernandez.
Yes. Perfect. On to item 4, presentations, the Uber voucher pilot program. Norm.
All right, hello, everybody. My name is Norm Tuitavuki. I don't know if we have my slides up here or not. If we don't, I think I can walk through the program without them, just to give you some information about the program. Right, here we go. Oh, there it is. Thank you. All right, so thank you very much. My name is Norm Tuitavuki. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Monterey Salinas Transit District. Appreciate the opportunity to be here before you today. I'd like to direct your attention to your packet, page number 9, or you can just follow up along here with me. So today I'll be presenting on the Uber voucher pilot project. So this is a program that we had applied to. And just to give you a little bit more context about the reason for the program, for several years now, we've been trying to stimulate taxi voucher service in South County. We had a couple of taxi operators agree to try and open up down south. There were some things that happened down there. They tried to get into the market, but the market just wasn't right at the time for them in that situation. So about 6 to 8 months ago, we were approached by Uber. They have a program that they launched, and it was based on $1 million being distributed amongst agencies for pilot projects. We applied to the project using the Uber taxer, or using the existing taxi voucher program that we operate currently mostly on the peninsula. They agreed to it, thought it was a good way for them to help us stimulate business, get taxi vouchers out to South County and other cities. And then also for them, it was an opportunity to increase business on their side. With that, you'll see the cities on the screen that are eligible. The residents of those cities are eligible to apply to the program. The program mirrors exactly what we're doing today with taxi voucher service. And that is they have to be either 65 or older, a person with a disability, and or a veteran. And one city that's not up there is Chualar. So from Chualar down to King City, all of those city residents who are eligible can apply to the program. And then in the North Monterey County side, you have Prundell, Pajaro, and Castroville that are also going to be included in the program. Next slide, please. All right, so how the funding works. Again, we have $50,000 that was given to us through Uber. And with that, we have 6 months to expend the funding. So in that time frame, 90% of the monthly invoice will be deducted from the total $50,000. And then the 10% will be paid for by MST through Measure Q. Next slide, please. Eligibility, I talked a little bit about. You have to be a resident of one of the cities that we had already talked about. And those people who are eligible can apply to the program. There's a process that we are developing now. We just approved the application through Christy and her team. And those applications will be pushed out in person at those cities that are involved in this program. People will enroll. We will fund the wallet through vouchers, through the Uber app. Residents who apply and are approved will go ahead and book a ride. And then based on where they're at, they can go anywhere within our system. So it's really resident based, but they can travel anywhere within Monterey County. Next slide, please. Marketing and promotion. We have just started kind of a full force program for marketing and promotions, as I discussed a little bit earlier. Christy and her team, along with Ikuyo and some of the members of the marketing team, will be in person. There's a lot of support that we're going to be getting from Uber to help us launch. So before the launch, they're here to support us. During the launch, they're also going to be here to support us. And then throughout the pilot, if there are opportunities for us to continue the marketing and promotion of the program, then we'll have that available to us. Next slide, please. This is the timeline. So July, we're coming up on the end of July. We met with the board a couple of weeks ago to present this to them. Now we're here before you to present this as well. In August, we'll be having kind of the full launch. We'll be reviewing the early results of the program. We'll come back in September and look at our operational data. We'll review ridership, where people are going to and from, and really look at usage and how effective the program is. And then in November and December, we'll come back for an evaluation, and then we'll close out the project. Next slide, please. This is what we've asked our board, is to receive and their feedback about the program, also to support the launch within their cities, and then the review. So this is the review, the formal review that will come back in December. We'll share the results of the pilot with them and then ask them to consider a continuation of recommendation based on funding that we have available for us. Next slide, please. And that concludes my presentation. One thing I will do is ask that you also help us promote the program. If you can go back to your communities and share that we'll be launching this Uber taxi voucher program. I forgot to mention, if you didn't know how the taxi voucher works currently, it's a $3 copay, and then we contribute a $14 credit or voucher for a total of $17. So each voucher is good for a one-way trip. Anything beyond $17 is going to be at the expense of the rider. If you have any questions.
That's all.
So thank you for mentioning that 2 hours is part of this.
Yes.
But what about some of the other underserved cities in North County, like Las Lomas, Romas, and Los Angeles?
Yeah, those weren't considered as part of the program because of the pilot. We were asked to identify cities within South County, and first it was South County, and then through some discussion, we identified those 3 cities, but not the other cities. They could be.
Some of the more underserved areas.
They could be. Yeah, depending on how the pilot goes and whether or not we have the available funding, then they could be. There's a lot of decisions that we'll make based on the pilot program.
Is there a difference in cost per mileage versus a taxi cab versus an Uber?
So the Uber app is based on demand and ridership, where they're going, and then time of day. So the cost can go up or down based on the time of day and where they're going. And really, there is no set minimum dollar amount per mile that they charge. There may be a trip that costs you $5 in the morning, and then in the afternoon it may cost you $17. But we don't control that. It's kind of market based.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's my only concern with that is if somebody expenses the full $17 getting to one place in a less common time, then they hit the peak time and now the trip doesn't get them back home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Sidort?
So, yes. Important, Carl Storick, CEO for MST, an important matter to consider in this is that for 10 years, MST has had the Measure Q program, which provides taxi vouchers for seniors, persons with disabilities, and veterans. And we have not yet had a taxi cab provider south of Salinas willing to go into these communities, as well as in the North County communities, have limited or no access to taxi cabs. They just won't go there. It's not in their profit model. Part of this demonstration is to provide something to those communities. It's Uber. So depending on what the cost is, right now they have nothing. So we're providing at least something with Uber is committed to serving these communities for us. And depending on how well they do, they may get greater expense to serve other communities as well, depending on how the demo goes. So that's really what's driving it, is to provide something to these South County communities who've been paying in to the sales tax and not getting this specific benefit. Sure.
So depending on the outcome of the pilot, is Uber going to contribute more to this?
I don't think so. I wouldn't imagine so. What it would be is through our existing Measure X funds. It is less resource intensive for us to provide a taxi voucher trip versus an MST rides trip. So a taxi voucher trip is costing us $17 per trip versus an MST rides trip could be $80 subsidy per trip. So it is in our interests with limited resources to provide as many taxi voucher trips as possible and to increase. So having Uber come in produces an increase in supply to an area that's not being supplied. So it's a way for us in difficult financial times to extend our resources. And so that would then be future iterations would be funded out of Measure X. I'm sorry, not Measure Q funds. And the offset would be the avoidance of MST rides trips would pay for the additional Uber trips. And future steps, it wouldn't be necessarily limited to Uber. We would go out to bid. This is a demonstration to see if it would work. And then a future iteration, we would go out to bid, and it could be Lyft, it could be Uber. There are other companies you serve, are other transit-related services, on-demand services like this. So this is step one.
And when you say trip, that's one way.
That's one way.
One-way trip. Yeah. Thank you.
I wanted to comment something.
Sure.
It's a great program. In the month of June, June, we enrolled 30 seniors for the taxi vouchers. Word of mouth and, the people they've been going with and everything. Yesterday, we had 2 seniors that, we try and say and offer the rides program, the other programs, and they're like, no, we would like taxis, we rely on them. We even become friends with the taxi drivers that, So it's a very great program, and I thank you very much. There are little glitches once in there, because we gotta explain, it only covers up to here, and then the rest, you pay. But at least they respond saying it's not so much versus the other cost of Uber and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. I appreciate that. Yeah, the other thing, there are some other benefits that I didn't really discuss here with Uber, but it'll give the ability for them to call and get a trip same day, right? They don't have to schedule the day prior. They don't have to worry about, they can if they've got their app loaded up, they can look and see, they can track where the driver is. I believe Uber allows users to share their location and where their trips are coming and going with family and friends and things like that. So I can check on my daughter, you can check on your mother, see where they're at. There are some benefits that we didn't fully cover, but those are kind of baked into the Uber platform. Yeah.
Just to clarify, it is going to work identical to the taxi voucher in that it's a $3 copay and anything in excess of the $17. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Any further questions, even individuals on Zoom?
Elizabeth's had her hand up for a while.
Hello. This is so exciting. And like y'all are, exploring such innovative ideas for transportation within our community. And I just wanted to say that I looked it up and like I on my Uber app and looked up Gonzales to get here and Soledad to get to the hospital. And it is like a $30 trip currently with the current cost. Minus the 17th would be about $14. And then with the copay, it would be $3 more, right? It's not bad for like going all the way over here from South County for the convenience of being able to have the privacy, be on your own, not have to wait. So I think it's a really great, innovative program. With Soledad, it's about maybe $7, $8 more. And yeah, it just seems like a really great program on top of, like, you can fit as many people as are allowed, so, like up to 4 people, depending on most rides. So I'm assuming they wouldn't put restrictions to how many people you could fit in there too, which is kind of a cool deal too. But I just wanted to say, like, this is so cool, and I'm super excited to see what comes. And please let us know when the flyers are available so we can start sharing it with our constituents.
Will do. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mr. Hernandez?
Thanks for the presentation. I was wondering, because since it's Uber providing the service, I know, well, I'm not too sure what their presence is right now in like South County. But I would imagine too that there would also be challenges of like of there being people participating as Uber drivers, and then what the availability of Uber drivers would look like. But yeah, but for me, I'm not too familiar if there's an existing presence of Ubers in South County or what that looks like.
Yeah, so the way that the program is designed is it's based on demand times and acceptance rates. We understand that acceptance rates in those South County cities are not very are not as high as Uber would like them to be, and so this is part of that program, is for them to increase their inventory of Uber drivers that are in and actively working in and around those areas as well.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it'll roll out and stuff. And I'm sure they'll be sharing with you guys all the ridership information over time and stuff too, I imagine.
Yeah, they have a dashboard that we're kind of digging into now and learning about all of the various reports and information that's in. But for the most part, I believe we can pull in real time data that we see useful: ridership reports, mileage, locations, destinations, things like that.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
All right, no further questions. Thank you, Norm.
All right, thank you.
Next, item 4.2, the presentation of the Measure Q funded programs. Christy.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. To MAC committees, members of the public, and MST staff. Christy Sagapo, Mobility Services Manager, and today my presentation is on Measure Q Mobility Programs Update for the fiscal year of 2026. Next slide, please. So there are 5 main core programs that MST offers, funded by Measure Q: the Navigator Volunteer Program, Travel Training Program, MST Rides Program. I will focus on eligibility. Service delivery is contracted out to Transdev. The Taxi Voucher Program, Transportation Reimbursement Incentive Program. Next slide, please. So starting with the Navigator Volunteer Program, the program ended the fiscal year with 9 volunteers. The volunteers connect our communities by assisting in promoting MST services in mobility programs. They are regularly assigned in outreach activities throughout Monterey County, whose targeted audience are the elderly, people with disabilities, and veterans. So locations include Schultz Park Center in Monterey, Aldemeyer Center in Seaside, Junsei Oaks in Marina, Salinas Firehouse Senior Center, Chispa Housing, Salinas Los Abuelitos, and Sherwood Village, and then as well as Meals on Wheels of Salinas Valley, South and North County Social. Also, our navigators are trained to work alongside mobility specialists in group travel training activities. The volunteers committed a total of 951 service hours for fiscal year 26. Next slide, please. MST then continues to connecting communities through our travel training program. The program teaches individuals how to safely and independently travel using the MST bus system. Travel training session can be done either one-on-one or in a group setting. The program is open to anyone interested, varying from young adults, organizations, persons with disabilities, the elderly, or veterans. Skills learned will vary depending on participants' need. By planning a trip to reading maps and schedules, or just simply learning how to properly board our bus with mobility device like a manual wheelchair. So 295 persons participated in travel training sessions for fiscal year 26. Next slide, please. So moving on to the MSTU Rights Program. To comply with the Americans with Disability Act, ADA, the program is for persons with disability who is prevented from using MST's regular bus system. Applicants will need to enroll by completing an application and an interview. Certification can vary from temporary, 3 years, or permanent. To use the service, all trips are by reservation in advance, and it is a shared ride. Service operates in the same hours as the regular bus system within the 3/4 of a mile corridor from MST's bus stops. There is a service fee of $2 one-way trip for our clients, and as Carl mentioned earlier, on our end, it costs us a little bit, about $80. Personal care attendant ride for free, and a companion will be charged the same fee as the client. Next slide, please. So all new applicants are interviewed in person, and recertifying clients are completed via telephone interview. There were 711 registered clients in fiscal year 26, of which 519 were new applicants and 192 were recertifying clients. The program then ended the fiscal year with 2,676 total registered clients. Next slide, please. So this slide is a breakdown of eligibility certification by age and mobility. So those enrolled in the program, about 64.87% are age 65 and older. 34.67% are age 18 and younger than 65, and less than 1% are younger than 18 years old. And those enrolled in the program, 34.17% are ambulatory, meaning do not use any mobility aids or devices. 42.27% use mobility aids such as cane or walker, and then 23.56% use mobility device, wheelchair, power chair, power scooter. So about 65.83% are mobility aid device dependent, those that are enrolled in our program. Next slide, please. So moving on to the taxi voucher program, as Nora mentioned a little bit earlier, there are 3 different eligibility for the program. For the elderly who are 65 and older, people with disabilities, or veterans. Proof of eligibility is required to register for the program and to receive the vouchers. We do have distribution sites and sign-up locations for the voucher program. Once enrolled, participants may contact any of the participating cab companies. There are 8 taxi cab companies to choose from. Their cab drivers are taxi ADA certified, meaning drivers completed the training that emphasizes on how to provide quality and respectful service to seniors and people with disabilities, and also to comply with the Americans with Disability Act mandates for taxi operators. When using the taxi voucher, each one-way trip costs $3 copay, and 1 voucher, which the voucher has the value of $14, and a total of $17 meter reading one way. And anything that exceeds the $17, the rider is responsible to pay the difference. Next slide, please. So in FY26, the year ended with 9,270 enrolled participants, 16.93 increase in comparison to FY24. and 4.85% increase compared to FY 26. 66% of the trips were taken by seniors, 33% were taken by persons with disability, and 1% by veterans. Next slide, please. Last is the Transportation Reimbursement Incentive Program, TRIPS. TRIPS is intended for residents of Monterey County who lives outside our service area, who may rely on their family, friends, or neighbor to provide them the transportation. The elderly, 65 years and older, persons with disability or veteran can qualify for the program. Once enrolled, they can choose their own designated volunteer driver, who could be their family, friend, or neighbor. MST then reimbursed the enrolled participants for the miles driven to pay their driver. TRIPS ended FY 26 with 127 total registered participants and a total of 10,918 trips were reimbursed. Next slide, please. This slide is a breakdown of the types of trips that were reimbursed. So of the trips taken, 33% were trips to community centers, which is great because this is taking our individuals who lives outside our service area and getting them to reducing isolation, so getting them to community centers. 32% were shopping related trips, 26% for medical appointments, 7% to visit family and friends, and 2% trips to work. Next slide, please. That completes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I have a few questions, Christy. I may have asked you this once before. I honestly can't remember. Does MST cover the cost for the person to receive the in-person evaluation to determine if they're eligible for services?
The cost associated for the process.
Yeah.
So we are required to provide transportation if the applicant is not or does not have any means of transportation to get to and from the interview. Transportation is offered through our existing MST Rides service.
Okay, that answers that one. Then the second part, I know with the launch of the Uber program in South and North County, are those drivers ADA certified?
They are not ADA certified. They are so Uber only does two background checks, driver records checks, and criminal background checks. However, if is this something we will be working out with them if voluntarily want to go through?
Yeah, so currently they do their own kind of training, and we'll have discussions about that going forward. But as part of their regular Uber rollout package, they don't offer the same level of training that we offer with the tax certification. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Tom.
Question, but a request. On the charts, we have the numerical values as well as the percentages.
Oh, sure. For future charts? Okay.
And then on the taxi voucher program, it discusses the number of trips and the percentages, but I can't find a total of the number of trips on these slides.
Yes, I can give that to you, but I will definitely for my next, because I do twice presentation, one at the end of the year, so calendar year, and then one for fiscal year. So I'll make sure to add all those the numbers requested. Yeah.
And I can't see, are there any on Zoom who have their hand raised?
Oh, you had another question. Oh, the numbers. Okay, let me.
Just the
Sure.
total I need.
Okay, so trips. Okay, so voucher trips. So we have seniors at 41,657. 657. Persons with disability is at 20,380, and then for veterans is 482. 482, yes. It's our second program, largest program to the MS2 rides. So it's a very popular program.
All right, seeing no further questions. Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome.
Item 5, public hearings. There are none. Item 6, action items. There are none. On to item 7, reports and information items, the MST rides. Oh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, members of the public, MST staff. My name is Olanrewaju Adelekun. I go by Ola. I'm the general manager for Transdev. I'm here to present the operational report for services operated by Transdev for the month of May and June 2026. Mr. Chair, let me start by saying that ridership continues to demonstrate a positive and encouraging trend across the ADA paratransit service. During this reporting period, Transdev delivered a total of 14,679, as we see in the reports, increasing from 7,193 trips in the month of May to 7,486 in June. This increase represents approximately 4.1%. That's month-over-month increase. The growth was primarily driven by increased demand for under the education, training, and daycare trips, which rose, as we see here, from 2,468 trips to 2,707 trips, representing approximately 9.7% increase. Likewise, the medical trips increased from 1,049 trips to 1,221 trips, representing approximately 16.4% increase. Overall, Mr. Chair, these results reflect strong and growing ridership demand, demonstrating the effectiveness of the transit operations in helping our customer meet their demands. Next slide. Here is the trip by purpose delivered by Transdev subcontractor Yellow Cab. During this period, Yellow Cab provided a total of 4,498, a little bit shy of 5,088 trips during these two periods. The highest trips by purpose were under the personal, recreational, which totaled 1,366 trips. And the employment trips were 1,009. Under the education training, Yellow Cab delivered a total of 860 trips, highlighting Yellow Cab's role in supporting mobility, employment, and independence. The medical trips and the dialysis trips totaled 1,191, reinforcing the importance of the service in providing access to essential healthcare. Next slide, please. The report we are seeing here is the month-over-month ridership numbers, looking at FY 2025 against FY 2026. As we see here, FY 2026 is really making an impact. Overall, I can deduce that the ridership remained very, very strong throughout the fiscal year, with total trips consistently averaging between 9,000 to 13,000 trips per month. This is also noted in the taxi services, demonstrating Transdev continued commitment to meeting the community transportation needs, despite a few operational challenges that we experienced. Next slide. The report we are seeing here is the rides, passengers per vehicle revenue hour. Passenger per vehicle revenue hour is a metric which indicates the total number of passengers that is transported within 1 hour of that vehicle being in revenue. During the fiscal year 2026, we can see that FY26 significantly outperformed FY 2025 during the first quarter, exceeding the contract standard of 1.87 in July through September. It also peaked at 2.36 passenger per vehicle revenue hour in September. While ridership declined during the winter months due to seasonality, overall, FY 2026 remained competitive through the rest of the month. Next slide. Yeah. What do you say? Yeah, the last one, yeah. So this is the on-time performance report. Mr. Chair, I am pleased, to report that our FY 2026 on-time performance has consistently outperformed FY 2025, exceeding the 90% threshold, which is a contract standard, for most of the year. We peaked at approximately 94% in the month of December, and we maintained a very strong performance through the remainder of the months. While we experienced a decline in June, largely due to driver shortage and staffing challenges, overall, the trends demonstrate significant year-to-year improvement and a strong operational performance under Transdev. This concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Any questions? Any hands raised on Zoom? Yes, Ms. Gandara.
I'm so sorry. That was just a clap, applause. Sorry.
All right, seeing none, thank you.
I think
he has.
One question.
Is it for yellow cabs, it normal during the summer that requests for service drop because of it's summertime? Because it's been pretty consistent, but there was a 600 trip decrease between May and June.
So the numbers you see for yellow cab doesn't really represent a decline. That represents the actual number of trips which Transdev sent over to yellow cab to deliver on our behalf. So the combination of that yellow cab number plus Transdev numbers makes the total for the entire month. So in some month, we might send trips to yellow cab, which might be more, but we look at the combination of both totality.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Will.
Yes, sir.
Item 7.2, MST mobility updates. Christy.
Oh. Good afternoon again. Actually, my updates is a bit short since I provided the fiscal year update already. Just to update everyone, my department, mobility department, is short one staff. We did complete our interviews last week, so hopefully we'll have somebody on board by next month. We are looking to do group travel training trips to the Monterey County Fair Senior and Veterans Day. We received a request from the Salinas Firehouse Senior Center. And then also we are working on coordinating getting a group of veterans to the fair as well. So something to look forward to in September 3rd. Let's see here. and then in the taxi voucher program, I am on behalf of Kevin with the RTA administration. I'm happy to share that California Taxi, who is one of our taxi voucher provider, is now operating an accessible vehicle or accessible van. So they have one, and I believe they have a second one that's still being worked on, if Kevin can share.
Maybe a month or two for the second one.
And then just excited in this whole MST Uber voucher expansion of our existing taxi voucher program. So we will be quite busy in promoting, marketing, doing some marketing outreach efforts to enroll residents in the cities and communities that this is being offered to. And also, we will be offering like training as well on how to use the Uber app. So exciting. Some good stuff coming. Let's see here. I think that's it. But if there's any other questions, I can answer them.
And we're going to be taxi voucher. And you send us like promotional flyers and stuff, so we can post them on our Facebook and our website.
Okay, we can certainly do that. Okay.
Also have us into our social incident because in-home supportive service customers own it. Most of them are homebound. And that might be another viable option for them.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
We'll do that.
I want that as well, because we go to 20 sites a month, so I want to make sure that all our seniors have this information if they're going to be registering us.
Okay.
Let's get them told.
Yeah.
Well, same thing.
I'll also get into our Veterans Affairs office. Please, I'm with some DSS. I can shoot it out there.
Awesome.
All right, thank you, Christy.
Okay, thank you.
Next, item 8, announcements and appreciations. See no announcements or appreciations. Item 9, subject item request for the agenda for the next meeting. And seeing none, we will adjourn. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 30th at 2 o'clock. So thank you.